Namaste yogis, welcome to the Yoga Pantry with me, Tash. I thought we would do a little yin session today, and I just realized I got all the way out here and I didn't bring my phone for the timer. So we're just going to have to go with the feel of the timings. We're going to work on a little sequence to open up the heart, lung and intestine meridians, and it's a lovely one as well. We're going to open up the inner thighs and open up the back a little bit and just find that bliss. So you may need a block or two. Blocks are always handy if you don't have a block, a big old book or a lunchbox or something with a blanket for comfort. And let us get situated. Roll out your mat, put on some comfy clothes because it's yin. We're just gonna chill, breathe and connect into that center. Let's do it. Alright, so the first pose we're going to come into, and we're going to be here for quite some time, is butterfly pose. So bringing the soles of your feet together. Now your heels don't have to be all the way up close to your butt. In fact, a diamond shape there is going to give you a pretty good yin practice as well. I find this quite challenging, having my heels further away from my body, so that's probably the one that I should embrace for the day. Now if you have a blanket or a cushion, you can lift the hips up a little bit, so just kind of prop them up. Or if you're like super tight and your knees are all the way up here, then grabbing a block, sitting on top of it, just letting those hips drop down. You can have a block between the feet as well if you want, and of course you can have those blocks in front of you, stacked up. You can drop your head down here, especially if you are super tight, and breathe into it. That's actually a nice place to start. So let's start there. Make sure you're nice and cozy, comfy. Everything feels connected in. Take a moment to become grounded. Feel those sitting bones. Just feel the base of your body release down. Inhale to find some length up. If you need a little support underneath the knees, the blocks, they're magic. They do all kinds of things to support us and keep us nice and comfortable. So invest in a couple of yoga blocks. Let us release. And you can release a little way forward to begin with. And breathe into it. Now when we are in our yin practice, it's not about how far you can go. It's not about furthest, fastest wins. It's really about tuning into your body, allowing yourself to soften, and let your exhale give you permission to come deeper into the pose. There is no need to touch your feet with your head. This is not a challenge. Now, all of our yoga asana practices, it's not about how awesome you are in your pose, how deep you can push it, all of that stuff. What it's really about is how much and how willing are you to surrender that ego. Breathe. Feel your body releasing, and as it releases, and it may take longer than this, you can start to go down little by little. Now, if you feel anything uncomfortable, like if you have one tight hip, one tight knee, don't force it, don't stay there. Yes, we want to embrace a little bit of challenge in our yin practice, but we certainly do not want to injure ourselves. You should not get any kind of strain in your yin practice. You should feel good about this the next day. The grass is just a little uncomfortable on my ankle there. Let me adjust my pants. Keep on softening. Keep on releasing. Keep on surrendering and finding that stillness. I've done a lot of intense yoga this week. So, for some reason, my right leg, my right thigh, my right IT band maybe is feeling super tight right here, and especially because I do have my heels a little further from my body, or a lot further from my body, and I'm in this big diamond shape. I need to just feel into that and see if this is where I need to stay, or if I should ease up, or if I should put any support underneath my knee. It's all about tuning into ourselves. So I'm going to stop talking and just allow yourself to sink and soften. Feel your body ticking down as it surrenders. Release any tension and tightness in your muscles and breathe. If you do get any kind of tingling or discomfort, sharp pains, then you definitely don't want to stay there. If that's the case, you can give yourself a little bit more support and see if that works, or you can change the position of your legs and see if that works. Readjust if you need to. Remember, it's all about love. It's all about compassion and kindness for ourselves. Ahimsa is the absence of violence. Don't struggle through your practice. Yes, we want to challenge ourselves, but only a little, little by little, baby steps, small steps. And as you relax deeper here, try and tune in to your thoughts, tune into the sensations in your body. Let any negative or busy thoughts float through and pass by. Bring your awareness back to your breath, maybe focusing on that lovely inhale up into the back of your body. And that exhale, drawing the belly up to the spine, feeling your body getting more space to allow you to get deeper still into your pose. And you could have a big old bolster here as well. Bolsters are great for a yin practice. We're always just finding the first edge. We're not pushing past that. Just that first point of resistance in your body. And then breathe there, sit into that. Release the resistance. Don't battle your ego, don't push into it, don't force it. Breathe the ego out of the body. The ego is fear. Fear that we're not good enough. Fear that we don't measure up. Fear that we're missing out. Let go of all of that and come from a place of love. Love your body. Love yourself. Love the tightness in your body, and that will feel acknowledged, and then miraculously it will release and go. Love it and set it free. We'll do a few more breaths here. Notice how far your body has traveled in the short time that we've been sitting and surrendering. And maybe notice how the resistance has shifted and moved from one part of your body to another part. Embrace it once more, surrender into it once more, check your ego once more. Such a beautiful day today. I couldn't resist the opportunity to film outside now that winter seems like it's passing. So we're back in Cornwall Park today. I'm just enjoying Mother Earth, getting my hands and my feet into the grass. It's so magical. Deep breath in. And gently surrender yourself out very slowly. When we hold these positions for a long time, we want to take our time to come out of them. Alrighty. Ooh. Release that. Now you can find a little movement here if you want a little yang action. Just to let things shift. You can move that leg out. Move it out. So the next one is called Melting Heart Pose. And this can be super intense. So you definitely might want your bolster or you might want your block here. You might want your block underneath your chest. I'll just show you the pose. We're going to have our hips stacked over our knees. We're going to extend, in this case, the right hand first. Let me just shuffle back so I stay on the mat. Marla keeps wanting to pop out. And then we're going to place the left hand onto the upper arm so that you can rest your forehead there. Let your heart melt to the ground, sink to the ground. Now this can be super intense, especially if you've got any tension in the back, any tightness in the back there. Then if that is you, grab a glorious block and give yourself support. You can be higher than that if you need to. And it means that your body is nice and supported so that you can surrender into that pose a little bit more. And you can always start with those blocks and then step them down, walk them down until you don't need them. Again, don't let the ego win. Do what is best for your body, not what you think is best for your body. Your body will tell you. Tune in to your body's wisdom. It will tell you if it's good or bad. Alright, let us surrender here. Deep breath in. And exhale. And if your forehead is comfortable on the ground, you can come there as well. If you want to turn your head to the side, you could give that a go and see if that feels okay. All of this depends on the tightness in your body. I did this yin practice yesterday and it was not as comfortable as it is today. So today I'm like, oh, I can melt my heart right into the earth. Breathe. Now I've had a tight back for a couple of days. Partly probably my mattress, and the other part is probably just the pressure that I put onto myself. And so I looked up good old Louise Hay and her book on how to heal our body or what's going on with our body. And the back, the back is getting stuck in the past. not wanting to or not being willing to move forward. The lower back is financial worries, financial woes, financial issues that are holding us back from moving forward. The middle back is guilt. Guilt for whatever reason, guilt of something we have done or haven't done or feel we need to be doing. And the upper back is feeling a lack of love in your life. So it's really good to just look at that, see what's going on, and figure out why. Why is that? So for me, my discomfort was in my middle back. And I realized that I've put all this pressure on myself to have achieved, certain things. And we can all relate to this. We're like, okay, 2018, by the end of the year, I would have done this, 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 and this. And now we're so close to the end of the year. And I'm like, I haven't done that. And then I feel guilty that I haven't worked hard enough, or I haven't stuck to my goals, or I've let myself down in some way. And that's silly, because that's holding me back. There's my back, holding me in the past. And then most of the soreness for me was on my right side. The right side is our masculine side, the masculine energy, that side of action and movement and having to get things done. And so it all just makes sense. I'm like, oh no, I've been putting all this pressure on myself and then not doing it, and now I feel really bad about it. And all I had to do was breathe into that, acknowledge it, accept it, breathe it out, and put a little magnesium oil on my back. And all of those things have just made me feel so much better. My back feels so much better today. So how's your back feeling? This year in class, loads of people have come all year long asking to do back stretches, upper, middle, shoulders especially. Lower, not as much. So I guess people feel financially pretty much okay. There's been a little bit of lower back stuff, but a lot of it has been upper back. How have we felt so unloved this year? And I get it, there's been a lot of stuff going on this year in the media and just with global politics and stuff, so I can definitely see why we would feel disconnected, unloved, unworthy, uncared for. Keep sinking your heart down. If it's too intense, then grab that block. Give yourself support. That is an important symbol in itself. Support yourself. Love yourself. Couple more deep breaths. And then, very slowly. Ooh, it's a biggie. Slowly release and sink down into your child's pose just for a moment. You can bring your arms by your side. Let them relax down. You can turn your head to a side if that feels good for you. Just relax, release, soften. We're not going to hang here too long because we're going to go into the next side. Well, the sun is coming out today, so I'm going to use my block for this side. Bring my chest down to it. Whoa. Extend out through your other arm and bring your other hand across onto that upper arm. And rest your forehead down onto your forearm or onto the ground if that feels good. Now you can, and I didn't say this earlier, but if you want to, you can press your fingertips into the ground. Create a little strength there. Every fingertip is connected to our body energetically in a different way, so we can energize those nadi points, those meridian points for a few moments, and then release. Because our yin practice really is about surrender. It's about kindness to ourselves. It's about tuning in to our inner wisdom and our inner guidance. I'm going to stop talking now and let you enjoy this side in silence. Notice if you're holding tension. Release it out. Breathe. Keep surrendering. Keep softening yourself down. Take a deep breath in. And very slowly, release ourselves out. Release back to that child's pose. Let the body come down. Release the hands down by your side. Turn your head if that feels comfortable to do. Again, if you need to, you can have a block underneath your chest, underneath your forehead if child's pose isn't the most comfortable for you. Today, tomorrow it might be. Maybe yesterday it was. Soften into your child's pose. Don't hold any tension in the neck if you can help it. Don't hold any tension in the back if you can help it. Breathe your inhale into the back of the body. Exhale, allow yourself to get a little deeper here. Deep breath in. And gently come up. Alrighty, so now we are going to come onto our bottoms, widen our legs out. My mat's like a giant reflector beam today, and we're going to do a lateral dragon fly stretch. So you can have your blocks here if you need them, because you might, and we're going to turn towards our right. So if you need to, again, you can have the hips raised up onto a blanket or a cushion. That just helps to lift you on top of the pelvis, so you're not kind of dropping into the sacrum. It lifts you up there and gives you a little bit more reach, a little bit more room, a little bit more space. The first one, for just a couple of minutes, we're going to face my right leg in this case and see if you can just surrender down to the right side. Let those legs relax and release. Breathe. Find that stillness. And of course you can have your blocks underneath your body. You can be like this. They're here for support. Blocks, cushions, pillows, bolsters. If you don't have a yoga block, it's all good. There'll be something in your house that you can absolutely use. You don't have to go right down to your leg like I just did if that doesn't feel good for you. Take your time. We're here for a bit, so take the journey. Use the blocks if you need to. It's just the two cutest little birds flying around in the tree for a moment. Now as we get towards the end of the year, it's a good time to take stock. Reflect on how your year's been. Whether it's been a good year or a bad year. Try not to take it personally, just look at the situation, the circumstances. And then reflect on what lessons you've learnt from those situations. How have they helped you move forward in your life? How can they help you improve and make 2019 spectacular? Sometimes the hardest challenges, the worst things that we think have happened to us, give us the biggest lessons, the biggest learnings, make us into the best people. So if it's been a hard year, give yourself a lot of love and kindness and compassion. And then look at what you've learnt from those things. Everything is a learning. And then decide how you can use that lesson to take it into next year or just now and transform your life, your situation, your circumstances. And you know what? Celebrate those lessons. Those are all wins. Those are all blessings. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. The smallest successes, celebrate. It's really important that we take time to celebrate ourselves and our human evolution, as well as our spiritual evolution, of course, which goes hand in hand. How delicious is this pose right now? Soften the legs. If you need a little blanket or cushion underneath your knee, if it's feeling super tight, roll one up. It's all about support. That's your key word for our practice today, support. Support yourself in every way possible. You can take a deep breath in, even though this is a yummy, blissful place to be. And we're going to turn to the side. Turn around. And you can have the arm overhead, or you can just have it up here. Now try not to reach for the foot and put all this effort into it. I'm surrendering down because it feels comfortable for me to be down here. But if I thought, oh, I've got a bit too much effort going on, then I'm just going to come up, rest a little higher, relax my arm if it needs to be relaxed, and I need to check in with my legs and just make sure that they're not efforting too much. Just need to soften. That's it. Notice how my feet were really tense before, and you don't realize all of those things, and you're like, wait a minute, oh, release, soft, let it go. I'm like, what do I do with my arm? I don't want to hang it over my head today, so I'm just going to do this. And that's nice. Breathe. And you can allow your heart to open. Find a point where you can start to really work stillness, softness, ease. We're only here for a few more breaths before we go to the other side. Keep surrendering. Keep bringing your awareness back to the sensations in your body. Where are you holding tightness? Where are you holding tension? Breathe it out. Check the feet, the arms, the knees, the face. Check the face. And then inhale. Slowly rise up. Take a moment and we're going to turn to the other side. Oop. If you need to readjust your hips, go for it. And surrender here. Surrender, surrender, surrender. That is today's mantra. Now you can surrender up high. It's all good. And you know what? Starting up high is a good place to be. Didn't bring my sunblock today. New Zealand has some harsh sun. Put my little heart mala close to my heart. Check those legs. Soften down. Breathe into it. Soften. Soften, soften. And relax the feet. Let go of all striving. Let go of a sense of achieving and accomplishing. And surrender. Build the art of surrender. My wonderful friend Holly sent me a deck of surrender cards. They're so wonderful to just remind you what to surrender to. Surrender your ego. That's a big one. Cultivate gratitude. When you surrender your ego, you cultivate gratitude. You come from a place of a heart-centered alignment where you are wanting and looking to be of service to others without any kind of compensation or remuneration. If that stuff comes, and it will if you're truly heart-centered, and that's all good, but we're not doing stuff to get something back. And that's that true sense of surrender. Surrendering the ego, letting go of the fear, allowing yourself to move into your heart, be guided by your heart. And keep asking yourself, am I making this choice, this decision? Am I saying this thing, behaving this way out of love or out of fear? And fear drives us a lot, and it's time to change that habit. Let go of the fear and move from a place of love. Imagine what the world would look like if we all made decisions from a place of love instead of fear. What a magical planet. It is a magical planet, but imagine how much more magical it will be if the humans were magical too. So be the magic in your world, be the magic for the people around you. Operate from a place of love. I think today this is my favorite pose. It's so delicious. You're getting a lovely stretch up the side of the back, of course in those inner thighs. Breathe. This is working out our liver meridian line up through that inner thigh area. And gently rise up when we're going to twist to our side, however high you need to be. If you need to be all the way up here, it's all good. Embrace where you need to be. Breathe into it. Hopefully my sunblock's going to work real well on my face. I didn't put it on the rest of my body, but I did put it on my face. It is beautiful. The sunshine. It's so rejuvenating. It's been a weird winter. I think we're all ready for some sunshine, although if you're on the other side of the planet, you'll be coming out of that and going into your winter. But over here in New Zealand, we are all so ready for summer. One of my favorite quotes from Hafiz. I'll see if I can remember it properly. The sun never says to the earth, oh God, what is that? Oh no, I forgot it. It's such a good quote. It was just in the back of my mind and it's floated off as I blissed out. Even after all of these years, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. Look what a love like that can do. Isn't that a cool quote? It's so great. It's so beautiful. It's like the sun will shine on the earth regardless. And the sun never asks for anything from the earth. And because the sun shines that love down on the earth is nourished. And she grows all these beautiful things. And she smiles back up to the sun with unconditional love as well. Ah, so magic. That's my interpretation of it anyway. Even after all of this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. Look at what a love like that can do. Beautiful. Couple more breaths here. I'm so loving this practice today in the sunshine. Magic. Take a deep breath in. Gently come out. So good. Right. Moving to the next thing. Let's bring those legs up. Rock it out. We're going to move now into a little twist with our wide-legged position, wide-legged child's pose. So bringing the big toes together if you can, and Allowing those knees to open as wide as is comfortable for you. Now if you need to, we're going to thread our, we'll start off with our left arm first. We're going to thread that down to the ground and rest down here. Right arm can be wherever you like. However, if that's super tight for you, grab a cushion, a pillow, a blanket or something and place that underneath the shoulder. Maybe one for the head as well, and stay in this position. Because I understand not everyone is created the same, and we need to embrace where our body's at, meet it where it is at, and give it that support. Use that word again, support. Come on down. Let's make sure my mic is clear and surrender into it here. I might just give myself a little sunshade for my face because it is warm. There we go. Little face shade. See, blocks aren't just for support. They can help deflect the sun elsewhere. Love you, sun. Thank you for your sunshine. But we're going to let it concentrate somewhere else instead of on my face. Breathe deep. Surrender down. Surrender to those inner thighs. You might be feeling quite a big old stretch in there. Again, notice, are you holding tension anywhere? Surrender, let it go, release, soften, breathe. You can, of course, have your arm behind you. But you know what? Why? When you can just relax into it here and really get into that shoulder and into the inner thighs. We're looking for the least amount of tension in our muscles so that we can travel deeper, beyond the superficial tissue, beyond the muscles, into the deep connective tissue, into the deep fascia. If you are feeling tingling, if you are feeling any tight sensations like crazy pain type stuff, come out. Shift, adjust, find another way. Grab your bolsters, your blocks, your cushions, pad yourself up. Do not stay in a position that is doing no good to your body. All of these postures are here to serve you. You're not here to serve them. And when you nourish yourself this way, giving yourself time to just be, to release into your body, to connect to that deeper sense of who you are, then you can go out and be of greater service to the world. Take a deep breath in. And gently rise up. Ooh. Now I had placed myself half in the shade at the start of this so that I would get the shade, but the shade is eluding me. Let's go through to the other side and release. So warm. It's so warm right now. Surrender. Find your happy spot, or maybe just your challenge spot, and breathe into it. Now, if you're thinking what kind of yoga blocks you should get if you would like some yoga blocks, they come in foam, they come in wood and bamboo, and they come in cork. I love my foam blocks for things that I need some comfort on because they've got that cushion and that give. I love my cork blocks for stability. I've never used a wood or a bamboo block, but I imagine they're pretty cool as well. But I really love the cork and the foam. And the cork's magic. But sometimes it can be a little bit harder to lie on, so you can always put a blanket over the top if that's the case. Now they come in 4 inches and 3 inches, I think. Maybe it's 2. 4 or 2. This is a 4-inch block, and then there's the ones that are, I think they're 2 inches. 3 inches. That's what I meant to say. And so there's different uses for different things. They're the same lengthwise and height-wise this way. It's just widthwise they're different. So a big fat one like this is good and stable and it will lift your hips higher and things like that. However, sometimes when you lie on your back, it might be too much, too intense, too high. So having a thin one is good as well. You want at least 2 the same size and then maybe 1 a different size, depending on which works best for you. And let's take a deep breath in. And exhale, release. Oh. Okay, so now we're going to go into a caterpillar. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Good old caterpillar pose. Again, reach those hips up. You can bring them onto a block if you want to. You can even have support underneath the knees if you want it, like a rolled up mat or a blanket. You can have these blocks under the belly for the head. And it's about surrendering. We're not trying to reach our feet and draw ourselves forward. We're just going to soften into it. So make sure that you are in a comfortable position for the hips. Lift them up if you need to. If this is really uncomfortable for you, especially if you're super tight in the back here, take your legs up the wall instead. So here we go. Inhale. And then soften. Exhale. Release down. Wherever that is for you, use those blocks if you need to. Breathe into it. And check those legs. I just realized that I was holding a little bit of tension in my feet. Soften them out. If it's uncomfortable to have the neck rounded like this, because sometimes that can create a really big stretch right down to the heels, to the soles of the feet, because we have this connective tissue, the fascia, that runs in a continuous line from the soles of our feet all the way up to the crown of our head. Pretty impressive, hey? And if it is tight like that, you can, again, lift the head, have a support here so that the neck is supported and you're not dropping the head down. And also for some people, having the head drop down like that can create headaches, and we don't want to do that. We just want you to slowly release the tissues, slowly soften. The breath is key here, so hopefully you've been breathing comfortably through your whole practice. Allow your breath, especially in this position here, to breathe in and feel it sliding down the back of your body. And as you breathe out, feel it coming up the front. Feel that gentle rise as you breathe in and the gentle fall as you breathe out. Recheck the legs as you get deeper into it. Make sure you're still soft. And if you're feeling tingling or tightness, you can also just bring your hands underneath the knees to have a little bit more bend in the knees. You can have the knees bent a whole bunch if you need to too. Well, the meridians are pretty interesting because they cross over from left to right as they move up our body. So sometimes you're like, my left leg is super tight and my right back is super tight. That makes loads of sense because it's connected. The meridians go up one side, come up to the hips there around that area and cross over to the other side. So keep breathing. Did I press record? Breathe. Let's take a deep breath in. And gently release out. We can lean back here and slowly lift those legs. Roll it out. No, I didn't stay in that one too long because we are working towards just opening up the back a little bit more. Opening up the heart. Alright, I'm going to take a moment or two down in our Pentacle Pose. So lying on your back, feet wide, arms wide. Close your eyes and just feel the sensations in the body here. breathing into it. I would normally just hang out here, but I'm going to take my arms off of my face because the sun is intense. Feel the sensations. Sometimes when we hang out in these big old forward bends, and in a moment we're going to come into our snail pose, it's super intense in the back. So you might start to feel this deep dull to the bone ache moving through your body. Like I can feel it now. It's starting at my hips, my lower back area, and I know it's going to start to chug its way slowly up, and it feels like you've done something seriously wrong to your back. But what's happening is all of that lovely stretch that we've brought into our connective tissues. Now we create little micro tears in our body and our tissues, and then the body goes to work repairing and healing, and so it's checking it out, and it's swirling around there. It's what we call the rebound, when we feel that intense ache, and then it starts to move through, and it moves through, and we will feel amazing afterwards. See it move through. Sometimes it takes longer than you would expect, but it does shift. And you do feel vulnerable in the back there. Just know that you are practicing your yin in a deep, fulfilling way. Take a deep breath in. And if it feels appropriate, you can hug those knees in. I'm actually going to turn around because it'll be weird if I do my plow that way. So I'm going to turn this way, and we're going to roll up into Plow Pose, or otherwise known as snail, in our yin practice. So, and I'm going downhill, so it'll be interesting. Up and over. Now, if this is not comfortable for you, and some people have a hard time here, you can always have a block, let the body rest, let your knees hang out, and you can stay here. This is fine. You can also hook into those hands and stay here, or if you need it, you can take your feet to a block or a table or even to the wall. So do what you need to do. And if plow just doesn't work for you at all, you can come into a child's pose or hang in your shavasana. We're going to hang here for quite some time. So make sure you feel okay. Make sure you feel safe. Breathe. Keep your head centered the whole time. You can support your back with your hands. You can have your arms underneath your hands underneath your toes. Also, a couple of folded blankets underneath your shoulders, and you want the edge of the blanket to come up just above the shoulders so it cradles your neck. You do not want the blanket underneath the head. I say this every time in class, and someone will put it under their head, and I don't really know how else to make it clear. So remember, blankets underneath shoulders, not under the head. The whole point of the blanket is to lift the shoulders and give the neck some room, some space, some comfort. And that just the little edge of the blanket cradles the neck, the cervical spine. Breathe it out, my friends. Breathe, breathe, breathe. When we come out of this one, this is where the intensity of that shavasana, that pentacle pose, really shows up. And
you feel it in the back and you're like, holy moly, what have I done? And then it passes and your back feels so good. It's such a big back stretch. Come out of it early if you need to. You don't have to stay here the whole time. Come out of it and come into Shavasana, Pentacle. We use different terminology for yin just to differentiate the different desired effect and outcome of our practice. So we're not strengthening muscles, we're not even stretching muscles, we are releasing. We're getting deep into the deep fascia, the deep connective tissue. We are releasing and stretching, almost like stretching our bones apart. In a way, that's what Paul Grilly would say. And it's gently release, very slowly. Support your hips so that you can come down slowly. I see people kind of whamming down from here and their head rocks up. We want to slowly come down. Engage your core. Slowly, softly. Release, 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 release. Release the hips, release the legs. Come down safely. Take your time here. And then Shavasana, Pentacle. We just got one more pose and we are done. I hope you have been blissing out with me in this one today. It is a lovely practice. Just hang here, breathe into it and allow your heart to open. Get ready for that intensity to start to move into the back, into the spine. Breathe it out, breathe it out, breathe it out. Resist the urge to stretch and move and roll. Just feel it. Feel the sensations. Be here now, present, alive. Ooh. Just release and relax. Feel it out. Breathe it out. Take a deep breath in. Hopefully that energy has passed through the body. So now we're going to grab our blocks. We're going to bring our feet together and we're going to do a little supported fish pose. This is going to be the last pose for our practice. This has been a lovely long practice, a really special little yin session. So with your block or whatever you have at hand, we're going to place it just underneath the upper back area. You don't want it so much into the waist and you don't want it so much up to the head. You want to feel a sense of the chest opening. So placing it And you can readjust as you get down there. Just see where we are. We're just kind of at the base of the ribs a little, and we're not too far up the shoulders, just a little bit.
And then if it's comfortable for you, let your head come all the way down. If it's not, maybe a cushion, a smaller block for the head.
But if you can, allow the heart to open, allow the throat to open here. So we're opening into the heart chakra, the throat chakra. And release and surrender. Breathe. Find the stillness here. Stillness is a gift that we rarely appreciate. We're so busy being busy doing. Give yourself the gift of stillness. Let your thoughts go, let your breath be easy. Try and release and relax into the shoulders if you're still holding any tension there. And let's take a deep full breath in here. If you are feeling really blissed and you want to stay here for a few more minutes, that's totally fine. Go for it. This is our last pose and then we're in Shavasana. If you're done, gently lift the head. Whoa, very slowly. Release your body out. Release the block and come on down. Shavasana time. Hello. Release. Make yourself nice and comfortable. Feel your body descending into the mat. If you need a little cushion for the head, that's fine. If you need a blanket over the body, that's fine too. This is your time to completely surrender. I'm going to leave you here. So thank you so much for joining me today in this delicious yin practice. Share it with your friends if you really enjoyed it. Share it with your family. Get together and do it together. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. Enjoy your Shavasana. You can stay here for like 10 minutes or more.